All right, so let's get started with today's class. Thank you, Aiden, for joining. Hopefully, we'll have our regular students that show up as well. There are probably a couple more students that we might expect to see, but that's all right. Let's begin with our agenda for today. So we've been looking at a series of short stories for the past few weeks, but last week was the final story. So we're not going to do a story this time. We're going to switch it up. We're going to do a different couple of activities to start off, and then we'll look into our lesson plan. So, to start off, we're going to do a little writing activity for quote of the day. So here's our quote. It's on the screen. It's on that picture. And what we're going to do is we're mainly just going to see if we can explain what this quote means. So, Aiden, can you read the quote for me, please? Aiden, whenever you're ready, can you unmute and read the quote, please?
Sorry, I was muted. What's the thing? Give tea.
All right, nice. So, kindness doesn't cost a thing, yet it's the richest gift you can give. So, what we're going to do is we're going to try to explain what this quote means. So, I've provided a few questions here to help you get yourself started. But mostly we're going to be answering, I guess we're going to answer these two questions. So both of these questions are probably going to be important for your answer. This last question, you can try to attempt at answering it. Do your best to put some information about this last question, but mostly focus on these two questions here. Overall, let's see, if we're going to see if we can write this in, I want to say 3 to 4 sentences. So this should be a little bit of a longer answer, just so that you can practice explaining what your thoughts are and what your opinions are about a piece of writing. So, Aiden, you can feel free to begin writing. Whenever you are ready, you can submit. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Okay.
Aiden, I saw your mic volume going up and down. Did you ask a question right now? Oh, okay. Well, if you do have a question, let me know. All right. Hi, Emma. Thanks for joining our class for today. So we just started this exercise right now. Basically, we have a quote that's on the screen. Kindness doesn't cost a thing, yet it's the richest gift that you can give. Basically, what we're doing is just explaining what this quote means to us. So you can try your best to answer these two highlighted questions on the side. What does the quote mean to you? And what does it mean that kindness is free? And as a bonus, if you are able to, try to answer the last question too, but mostly focus on these highlighted questions. And overall, try to submit your answer in 3 to 4 sentences. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. All right, so it's been a little over 5 minutes so far, so let's try to get our answers submitted as soon as possible. These answers should be, again, like 3 to 4 sentences. So if you're able to
Okay.
get those sentences done, please submit them as soon as possible. If not, whatever you have written, please submit them now so we can take it up.
I'm
Aiden, did you have a question?
yeah, I'm almost
Almost done? Okay, so I'll give you a few more seconds, like a minute at most, and then please submit whenever you're done.
I think
Could you
I have
repeat
to
that, please?
restart.
Say it again. I think you got cut off.
I have to restart.
You got to restart. Why is that?
Yeah, because I accidentally and when I pressed sentence was gone.
All right. Well, you can give me a shorter answer. That's okay. Whatever you're able to write
But
down, get it down
I
quick.
want it since I want since
Can you repeat that, please?
I want to get my
Yep. So try to write it down as soon as you can.
just say it.
It would be better if you write it down.
Huh?
Wait, there's
All right. So I see
Uh,
one answer here so far. So for the time being, I'm going to take up that answer. And if any more answers come in, feel free to submit. All right, so let me just close. Oh, all right, Emma, can you read your answer for us, please?
Kindness let people feel good and feel angry. You feel
All right. So good points, very good points that you made here. This is excellent. So kindness will help people feel good and don't feel angry. When you help others, you will feel good. All right. So this is really solid. So when kindness doesn't cost a thing. It's the richest gift you can give. Basically saying that it's pretty easy to be kind. It doesn't take much effort to be kind, but it is a very impactful thing to do. So I think you got a great grasp of what the quote means. So very well done, Emma. Let's proofread this though. So kindness will help people feel good. And instead of saying don't, we can say and not to feel angry. And let's get rid of the space. When you help others, you will feel good as well. All right. Nicely done. Very simple, straight to the point, but it's a great answer. Aiden, were you able to complete your answer?
not yet.
Not yet?
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm going to move on with the next activity, Aiden. I gave you like 20 minutes, so this shouldn't take too long. So let's go over to our next activity, another, icebreaker type of exercise. This time we're going to look at a personal reflection, also about the topic of being kind. This time you're going to write about a time when someone was kind to you and explain how it made you feel. Why was that moment special? So, a couple important things to talk about. So, you have to first describe when someone was kind to you, and then you have to explain how did that make you feel. And then the third thing is explain why was that moment so special. So, at least 3 points, which means at least 3 sentences. You can do 3 to 5 sentences. Again, it shouldn't take too long, so let's aim for around 7 to 10 minutes. If you have any questions for me, please let me know. Otherwise, you guys can begin writing. All right, so I got one answer so far. That's great to see. So let's give another. Aiden, you got something to say?
Mind.
Sorry, can you repeat that?
In mind.
Okay. So yeah, I'll give you another couple minutes, maybe 1 or 2 minutes, in case anyone's still adding to their answer or wrapping up. And then after that time, we will take it up. All right, so I got a couple answers here. Let's put these on the screen. All right. Okay, Aiden, can you read your answer for us, please? Aiden, whenever you're ready, Aiden, can you read your answer, please?
Uh,
All right. So I got your updated answer on the screen. You can go ahead.
it made was mean to me, and that is why.
All right. Nice. Excellent answer right here. Made me feel very happy because someone was mean to me and now someone is kind to me. That is why I'm happy. So let's change a couple things here. So it made me very happy. The first thing that I want to discuss is that you just kind of start off by saying it made me happy. You don't actually say what made you happy. So the first question from this exercise was, can you explain a moment where someone was kind to you? So you didn't do that. You didn't actually talk about any moments of someone being kind. So that is, something you got to work on for next time. So it made me feel very happy because someone was mean to me. We can say someone was initially mean to me, and now that same person is kind to me. And we can put a period here, and this can be the start of a new sentence. That is why I am happy. All right, so we're lacking some details here. We can explain what the moment was. That would help us understand what's going on. And we can explain why that made you happy. So, what exactly did they do that made you feel so special? So for next time, just add a little bit more detail. Emma, can you read your answer for us, please?
It's kind to me. I had dropped some orange what helped, and I would. And next time I see something
All right. So excellent answer. It's a pretty detailed answer. You have a very specific moment that you're talking about where a friend um, helped you pick up some oranges that you had dropped. And then you said, you know what? I'm going to help people out when they drop stuff too. So very well done. That's a great example. Let's proofread this. So when someone was kind to me, like when I had dropped some oranges. Okay, so let's change the way we introduce this topic. Let's say a moment when someone was kind to me was when I had dropped something. Was when I had dropped, oh, should be past tense, some oranges. My friends would help me pick them up. When, when I had dropped some oranges, comma, my friends would help me pick them up, and I would feel happy for them. Okay, so this can be a comma right here, and let's say, and it would make me feel happy. So you're not really happy for them, but just the fact that they helped you out made you feel happy. And we can say the next time, whoops, the next time I see someone drop something, so this can be present tense, and we need a comma right here. I would help them pick it up too. Excellent. Very well done. Very well said. Yeah, really well done. So that's it for our personal reflection exercise. Let's move on. We're going to do a little bit of reading comprehension. We're going to read a couple paragraphs, a couple pages, and then we're going to analyze two things, the setting and the character. So let's keep that in mind when we're reading this paragraph. So who wants to start us off? Aiden, can you read this first slide for us, please?
It was day afternoon. The library was nearly empty. The window sound of raindrops tapped. Feel quiet and cold. Sat on a table near the desk, book with her pair coat still on. Smell the peaceful berry. Though some felt different, library shelves place.
All right, very well done. And Emma, can you continue on this page?
Stood up or look. The book corner has currently taken a small tourist through the crack and something shiny. Just about to look, someone walks in the cold library. A picture book, something interesting to ask with a small product, but think about the she liked Miss Swan. She commented and let her library there, but she wanted to figure out herself. Mr. Combe nor to the corner, pulled enough to reach any object.
All right. Excellent job. And Aiden, can you continue here?
It was a small silver tied to a blue ribbon. Turned it over her hand and noticed engraved on 100. He had never heard 113. Only had a clock up to 12. To beat faster. This key unlock. The knight knocking about the key. Dreamed about secret books. As soon as to the library, Swan desk. Nora tiptoed, and this time she noticed the door behind the book never seen before.
All right. And one final page. Emma, can you read this page, please?
The silver soft. The door break was hidden with soft being black glowing lamps and filled with in the library. She gasped excitement. A table read minds only. Smiled to herself. Of the mystery, her new favorite.
All right. Excellent job, you two. So great job reading the story. Now let's move on to a few questions about the story. So like I said, we're going to break it down into two topics. We have character and we have setting. So these two questions are going to be about character. So I want you guys to look at just the first question for now. I want you to answer, how would you describe Nora? Choose two traits and explain using evidence from the story. So pick two traits that you would use to describe Nora's character, and then tell me why you think she is those traits. So if you say she's funny, explain why she's funny. What does she do that makes her funny? So do your best to answer this first question only. It should only be like, let's say, 3 to 4 sentences, not too long. And if you guys need some help, I will put the story in the chat. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Can we check our answer?
All right, so I got one answer. I'll give you guys maybe 1 or 2 minutes. Uh, Actually, I think it should be good to take it up now so we have enough time to check out the second question. Oh, okay, we got two answers, so that's great. All right, Aiden, can you read your answer for us, please?
If you want to see what
All right. Curious because she wanted to see what the tiny object was. So let's try to answer our questions using full sentence format. So let's take words from the question and let's put that into our answer. So how would you describe Nora? You can say, I would describe Nora as curious. Because she wanted to see what the tiny object was. All right, very good answer right here. So excellent character trait to use and explanation. So nicely done. But I think, yeah, so it says to choose two traits. So pretty much for next time, just try to add another trait and another explanation. So you did half the work, just do the other half next time. Emma, can you read your answer, please?
is interested is used green about doors.
All right, so Nora is interested on what the key is used for, and she also dreamed about the secret doors. So, basically what we're doing here is these are both explanations. So you don't actually give a trait yet. You didn't mention a trait. Saying that someone's interested is not actually a trait. It's just kind of like what they are, like their state. It's not really a trait. It's like saying someone is hungry. So let's change this up. Let's say, I guess you can say the same thing. You can say curious. So again, I would describe Nora as curious because she is interested. And let's make this red. Because she is interested on what the key is used for. And she also dreamed about secret doors. And let's put a period at the end. All right, so very good points that you made. But just try to be a little bit more clear on the character trait. All right, so moving on. Let's do the second question now. So let's cross this out. We'll do question number 2. It says, how does Nora feel when she finds the keys? What clues tell you that? So how did she feel when she found the keys? So again, try to aim for around 3 sentences. We'll take this up in a few minutes. We don't have too long. And if you have any questions, please let me know.
I feel like this is the same.
Say it again.
I just feel like this is.
You feel like this is what? Hey, you got cut off there. Okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing you, Aiden. If you'd like, could you type your question into the chat? Okay, so you feel like they're the same question. So, the reason that they're different is because the first question is asking about you to describe Nora. So simply just talk about who Nora is and describe her using adjectives, character traits. Second question is talking about a specific moment. You're talking about probably the most important moment in the story,
Here,
the moment that really
Nora feels
describes
the key.
Nora's character. So talk about what she did and how she felt when she found the key. That's a little different, very different, actually.
Here,
All right. So, I did not see any answers yet for this question. But we are at the end of our class. So I guess what we can do is maybe we can continue with this question for next week. And we can focus on these setting questions as well. The questions about the setting and breaking down the setting of the story. So we'll check that out for next week. So that's it for today's class, you guys. Great stuff, great participation. I will see you guys next week. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Oh, okay, I got an answer here. Okay, let me just quickly take up this answer. Emma, try to get this submitted a little sooner next time. But let's check this out. All right, Emma, can you read your answer, please?
When Nora got curious because words on it, and good. For Nora for
All right, so we're using the same word again. We're saying curious again. So try to, change it up a little bit for next time. There's a lot of different ways we can describe Nora in this moment. Curious is okay, but there's other words that we could have used. So try to use, more variety. Try to be creative. So when Nora found the key, comma, she felt curious because the key has words on it, and it said room 113. So this can be two separate words, no capitals. Whoops. And it said room 113, period. Nora thought there was no room 113. Okay, also period. But this is kind of unfinished. So we need to explain things a little bit more. So explain, the situation with room 13 a little bit more, and also explain how it relates to Nora being curious. All right, so now that's it for today's class. We'll talk about the next questions